Hello everybody! I am a little bit crazed with the hair because I was up late and just woke up, but I had to respond to this little article called Libertarians Are Very Confused About Capitalism by Charles Davis on Salon. It's a long article, so you just need to read it yourself. I won't discuss the main points because there's just too much information, chalked into there. The short of it is I just want to respond to the basic underlying premise that runs through the article, the motif, and that is his confusion about libertarians' approach to government wealth transfer and what that means as far as rectifying past harms. And the short of it is that there's not a perfect way to undo all the theft and murder and rape and robbery that government has done. There's no perfect, this person was harmed in this way historically and we can exactly match up anything. And the reason is very obvious. Some things are so far transformed from what they originally are, you can't really do anything to match it. It'd be like as if a neighbor, came over to your house and stole your pie, and they ate it and they digest it. Well, you can't get that pie back that you made. By existence of their body's digestive system, that pie has now become a totally different chemical substance. Totally unusable, can't just, be like, oh, here's $100, here's back. It's like, it's a completely different thing, and that's happened with everything that government has ever touched. So there are many approaches as to how that's undone and how things are redistributed, and that to the extent that it is trying to rectify past harms, I don't think that anyone who is libertarian is against that. But it shouldn't be seen as accepting the state form of redistribution, because that is the initiation of theft to begin with. When taxes occur, that means that the government is taking other people's property, whether it's their person, their labor, and stuff like that. Rectifying past harms is not a redistribution. So yes, it is a redistribution in the general sense of, yeah, there's money being taken and then possibly, or other resources, because money is, paper dollars not going to really do anything. But realigning much of the historical harms should be a goal of dismantling statism. I mean, that's just a natural conclusion, because if that disappears, if that entity disappears, well then those assets and resources have to go back somewhere. And to the best extent possible, just like any other restorative form of justice, you have to try to trace it, but it's not going to be perfect. You just like you can't bring someone back from the dead who's murdered. Like, what do? Okay, well, you can kill that person, but that doesn't fix the underlying problem of someone being dead. There's all this theft and there's all these horrible things that have been done to people over the years, even governments murdering people and stuff like that. But we're not going to be able to fix everything. I mean, as libertarians, we understand that reality. So what? It's not going to be perfect. But it is not wrong then to say, yes, we do believe that when you dismantle this entity, there will be resources that will have to go back out, and to the best extent possible, historically drawing lines, if that's even possible, with those who are enslaved or those who are extremely abused, to restore that would be great. Is it going to be perfect? No. And even if a lot of stuff was lost in translation, at the end of the day, so what? They're not going to spend their entire day every day worrying about every single past harm that was committed. Sometimes there's a total net loss, and people just continue living their lives, but except now they don't have to deal with the theft and the murder and the lies and the manipulations and the politics. That sucks. I mean, that's the harsh reality of life, is that there's loss, there's death. There are things that are changed that can't be brought back, and that includes both the body, because if someone was murdered, you can't bring back to life, or how things in the past were taken from people, in terms of monies or eminent domain takings or patent takings. I don't believe in IP law or anything like that. As far as principles, ideas about property, piracy is not theft, but what are you going to do at the end of the day? There's really nothing more to it. It's just the past harms cannot ever be fully remedied. That's it. So, with that, what I just said in mind, I hope that clarifies what this guy wrote, because it's such a basic thing, but because it's a gray area, and a lot of people don't like accepting the fact that not everything is like extremely laid out or perfectly systemized, because they're so used to a system. Which, I mean, as someone who is a lawyer, I can tell you the government's system is so freaking subjective at every level, including things that are supposed to be the law, like a judge's rulings and prosecution. I mean, it's just all gray. It's all subjective whims of people, subjective whims of juries. It's not mechanical. It's not mathematical. It's not chemical. It's not a if-then statement. Most of what the government does is all just subjective wills and wants. So it's kind of sad. It's an artifice that a lot of people who love government like to pretend it exists. They like to think, oh, government rules, therefore there is some mechanical process that this is exactly, everything gets perfectly just and correctly aligned because there's government or something like that. But it's just like, no, it's all still as ambiguous and as gray area as pursuing a free market. Just the only difference is that now you're removing mandatory automatic rulers who are psychopaths and want to take everybody's persons and property in order to benefit themselves, pretty much living at the expense of others, as often is seen in every democracy or mob majority rule. All right, have a great day, and I'll talk to you all later.